Well, let's talk about the first one there. So thinking, okay, I'll just go find a new job. I'm miserable in my job at the moment. I'll go find a new one and then everything will be okay. Why do people think that's the case?
If you look at it, something like 75 to 80% of people leave jobs because they hate their boss. But the thing is, about 75% of people actually have line management responsibility. So do they hate themselves? What's kind of really going on here? We are creatures of our environment. What can happen over time is that the environment that we're in and the way in which we perform, like a gap occurs between the two. And so, for instance, you've got your ideal being this way and the organization can be this way, and this gap occurs for whatever reason. And it's just simple for the brain to kind of go, well, it must be because of that. It must be because of them, not me. Therefore, if I go over there, then everything will be all right. And there's some truth to it. Our environment very much have an influencing factor on our mindset. But regardless of your environment, you're still a contributing factor. The key fact is that probably about 80% of the clients who come to me and say, Robin, I've got to get out of this toxic environment, and then we actually work on them, what actually happens is that they end up staying in the same job or staying with the same organization, but kind of changing their job within it, because it's not the environment that's changed. It's actually their mindset and how they're showing up and speaking their truth, understanding what their truth is, working in a way which is more true for them. And they're like, oh, in actual fact, it's kind of okay now. And so it's a bit of a falsehood that we kind of go, I'm going to go over there and everything's going to change. Because if you've got lessons to learn, if you've got problems, they're only going to follow you. And particularly if you're in a situation where you say to yourself, I'm in this situation again. Well, what's going on? Because there's only one common factor to every problem that you've ever had in your life, and that's been that you've been there. So we need to focus on that contributing factor.
It sounds like it's sort of a temporary fix. So in some ways, like you said, there's some truth to it. You could change jobs and then be like, okay, this is a bit better. But can you end up job hopping and just changing all the time, seeking happiness that way?
Yeah, totally. Because the thing is that for us to have our buttons pushed, we need to have a button in the first place. So it's a matter of that environment temporarily might not be pushing your buttons, but then over time, the same old problems will come back and impact you. So whatever environment we're in, whatever situation we're in, what are the absolute learnings for me to take on? Sometimes you just need to get out of a toxic environment because we're never going to learn those lessons in that environment. But it's always about understanding and realizing that we need to do the work on ourselves and look at what is in my control. For instance, people look at job offers and they go, oh, it's amazing. In this role, I'm allowed to do X, Y, and Z. And then I say to them, have you actually said to your employer, I would like to do X, Y, and Z in your current role? Oh, no. Well, why haven't you? Oh, I don't think they would let me. Well, have you asked? No. And so it's just that a lot of people in the work environment, if we actually go to our employees and say, hey, look, I've really got some clarity about who I am and what I stand for and where I'm actually going to add most benefit to this organization. I think if I can be given more exposure to doing these kind of tasks, so I can give more back to this organization, most employers will actually look at that and actually have a conversation with you about it. So that's where we think the grass is green on the other side, but it's not necessarily, and it can actually be better for what we've got right in front of us.
If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Feel free to share with friends and check out what's up next for more videos from my channel.